Hey guys, welcome to our new moon in Cancer cycle that is going to be playing out over the course of the next 2 weeks. And you guys, this is a journey through the underworld. Our full moon is happening in an almost exact conjunction and opposition to Pluto, Lord of the underworld. We had our sun conjuncting Pluto yesterday, so we are quite familiar with this energy, but really pushing for truth, trying to get to the core of things, purging, purification, transformation, the name of the game as we go through the next couple weeks of this full moon cycle. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Monday, January 17th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day, which is my full moon report for our Capricorn lunar cycle that we are in right now, and full moon halfway in between with the sun in Capricorn and the moon comes to the exact oppositional point in Cancer. That is what gives us our full moon. So here we are in those energies today. This full moon is coming in at exactly, well, close to 7 o'clock, 6:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the exact degree placement of this full moon is happening at 27 degrees, 51 minutes of Capricorn and Cancer. And so for my interpretation for this report, I will be looking at the Sabian symbols as well. So we will be looking at the degree 28 degrees Capricorn and Cancer, where this full moon is occurring in terms of the Sabians, because when we read the Sabian symbols, we always round up. And for those of you who are unaware what the Sabian symbols are, what they are is a group of symbols that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Whenever we have a planet at a specific point discharging a degree, making an aspect, we can look to the Sabian symbol of that degree, and it just gives us more clarity about what is the functioning purpose of this activation happening at this specific degree, at this point in time, in the context of this grand unfolding astrological drama that is always constantly and perpetually carrying us through time and space, and right now is carrying us on a very fast-paced trajectory into the age of Aquarius. So I always read the Sabian symbols when I'm analyzing energetics, aspects, because they just give us that extra layer of clarity to help us get a better understanding of the overall context of everything that's going on. So that being said, let's jump into the report for today, shall we? And yes, full moon happening. I mean, full moons, this is always a culmination point, and it's a point of release as well. When the things that we began with the new moon really come into their fullest form, their fullest expression, and we are ready to show them off to the world, to put them on display, to expose them, to, release them. And then over the course of the next few weeks, as the full moon plays out, we figure out what adjustments we need to make and what we don't need anymore, what we want to let go of and move on from, so that we can start a new creative journey come our next new moon, which will be a new moon in Aquarius. But because of the fact that we have this full moon happening within a 1 degree orb conjunction and opposition to Pluto, the Lord of the underworld, ruling power and control dynamics, purging, purification, regeneration, transformation, that is telling us that this full moon cycle is really going to be exposing things to us that have perhaps been quite hidden under the surface, our darkness, so that we can really shine the light into it, the full light of the sun and the moon, begin to release, let go, move on, purge, purify, transform, so that we can really begin a new journey and that is kind of consistent with a new reality based on these transformations that are sort of bringing us into a new version of ourselves as we move into the energy that is closing out this astrological lunar cycle that began in April, and we head into our new astrological lunar cycle that is going to be happening with the new moon in Aries coming up this April. I do believe it's happening in April again this year. And, we have a lot of new beginnings coming based on a lot of really deep internalized vibrational and energetic shifts that have been going on throughout the course of this entire year. And here we are in a cardinal Capricorn cycle, the last cardinal cycle of the lunar year. And we have this massive releasing opportunity in alignment with, again, purging, purifying, and transforming, transmuting our darkness in a lot of ways so that we can raise and elevate our frequency and vibration and be able to align with the new paradigm, this age of Aquarius that is coming in, and be able to, maneuver it and operate it successfully and also contribute to the formation of it, which is how it happens one by one. Each individual human cell, raising our vibration, changing our frequency to match the incoming frequencies. We co-create this with God and universe. And these purges, these purifications, these transformations, these shifts, all of this is happening in order so that we can transmute our frequencies and vibrations and, create the age of Aquarius. It's all happening in divine timing. It's all happening now. And we are just really genuinely getting to the core of who we are and making these transformations and letting go of things to embody that core essence that we have discovered this full moon over this next couple of weeks, and also moving into this full moon when we had the sun in the conjunction to Pluto yesterday. This full moon is happening, like I said, within that 1 degree orb conjunction in opposition to Pluto. This is profound. This is very powerful. And this is the ultimate, honestly, in that purging, healing, and releasing the past energy. And it is indicating a major and profound transformation, as I have mentioned leading up to this point in the report. There may be a lot of changes happening now, you guys, in terms specifically of career, public image, or also regarding bosses, authority figures, or our relationship to them, because this is a Capricorn cycle, which rules establishments, leaders, bosses, authority, career, public image, public reputation, and just generally the people in charge of things and how we interact publicly with the world, also where our success comes from as well. Capricorn rules these things. And so these are the type of things that we may see undergoing some major purging, purification, and transformation at this point in time. This also could represent, you guys, like a very powerful purging of the elite, the powerful classes, the priesthood classes that have been holding power for long established periods of time. Power grabs are also possible with this energy, but they will not prevail because corruption is being rooted out at this time. Misuses of power and corruption that have been going on in governments, organizations, like the upper management sector of things, institutions, or in terms of leaders, bosses, and authority figures, definitely being purged and cleared out at this point in time, regardless of whether we can actually see it happening or not. Pluto is combust the sun right now. When planets are combust the sun, we can't necessarily see what is going on with that planet. Pluto in Capricorn representing these powerful classes of people and these long-held power structures, establishments, power dynamics. We can't necessarily see these purging and transformations that are happening in these sectors right now because Pluto, this power source, is really hidden within the rays of the sun. But that does not mean that it is not happening. And with this lineup that we have going on right now, especially with the moon in Cancer, talking about, the real need to nurture ourselves and to take care and to, love ourselves and our families. And, this is a much more collective healing energy where the moon is in Cancer, and then Pluto and the sun lining up in the exact opposition in Capricorn. This could definitely bring some purging of, again, those like elite sectors of society, and it could definitely have a healing impact on like the emotional body of the human collective as we move through this energy. Accumulated energetic toxicity is being purged and released with this as well in a lot of big ways. I think, we also had a lot of black moon energy that was building into this weekend, into this full moon as well, really giving us another opportunity to see and experience our own darkness and become consciously aware of the things that we need to let go and release right now so that they do not continue to overpower, our conscious desires and what we truly want to experience in our lives going forward. Could be a very profound, emotional, cathartic period of time. Full moon today and moving through this next 2 weeks of release as we move into our new moon in Aquarius, you guys, that's coming up. We are releasing and transmuting these lower frequencies, these lower vibrations right now into higher frequencies and vibrations that are more in alignment with our higher self and our authentic truth, so that we can begin to really live and experience ourselves and our reality in alignment with that going forward. But we are just at like we're in the Phoenix mode right now, but part of that is this death and destruction that has to come with it, so that we can really be broken down to, our most simplistic core of what we are, so that we can really grasp onto that, see that, recognize the value and the power that it represents and the creative potential held there, tap into that and use that as the baseline of our experience going forward, instead of perhaps trying to like mold ourselves into the pre-established ideals of our families or of society or of culture or of media, or just all of these external structures that we strive to be and that we reach for and that we attain for, but that aren't necessarily in alignment with what we're genuinely here to do and what will ultimately bring us the greatest amount of satisfaction and fulfillment in this life. That's what universe wants to bring us, blessings, and wants to bring us gifts in alignment with our greatest and truest version of that. And if we are not aligning with who we authentically are, then we can never receive the authentic fulfillment that we are supposed to, that would also come as a result of, us living in a way that is in alignment, and therefore attracting the things that are truly in alignment with us and that can bring that fulfillment, that abundance in the way that suits us individually, because, it's going to be that is going to be different for everybody. So very powerful period of time right now. And it's also described by the Sabian symbol of Saturn right now, ruler of the Capricorn cycle, currently at 14 degrees of Aquarius. Now bring in the Sabian symbols. 14 degrees of Aquarius, that Sabian symbol is a train entering a tunnel. Again, sort of being in this like dark enclosed space as we are very rapidly heading towards this opening that is just going to be this bright light that we are, being infused of and exploding into. But at this period of time, we are in the tunnel. It may be dark. It may be a bit claustrophobic. We may not really have a good sense of where we're going at this point in time, especially with Mercury retrograde in a square to Uranus. But clarity is coming, answers are coming, and this is really just being, it's about being able to learn to see in that darkness and to recognize what exists there, so that we can purge, purify, clear, release, let go, and ultimately transform, transmute, and metamorphosize in the way that universe needs us to right now, in order so that we can collectively do the Age of Aquarius thing and make sure that we get this party started in the right way. So that is what we have, we are headed towards the opening of the tunnel that is going to represent a vastly different experience of our own selves, and therefore our reality as a result. This release and transformation will launch us forward in a radically new direction, much different experience in 2022, based on the changes and the changes that we are making to ourselves, and therefore the way that we are experiencing our external reality as well. The changes in the way that we're interacting with ourselves, and therefore the way that we are interacting with reality. Transforming, metamorphosizing at this point in time with this really powerful full moon going on in Cancer and Capricorn in a conjunction to Pluto. Symbolically, we're going to start talking about the Sabian symbols in a few minutes. Symbolically, the placement of the planets today is referencing an alignment with and a demonstration of these newly rediscovered core truths, which is also emblematic of the fact that we have Uranus stationing direct tomorrow after a very long retrograde period, in which, all of these internalized awakenings that have been going on over the course of this past few months and this year, these realignments that have been happening internally, begin to be experienced externally and outwardly as well. This is what we are moving towards this week. This is actually a very powerful week, sort of launching us forward. We have Uranus going direct tomorrow. We have the nodes also changing signs tomorrow, right after this really big, powerful purge, purification, release, and transformation that is preparing us for this forward movement in this new direction based on these internalized shifts, these internalized awakenings that have been going on that we are about to start experiencing externally and outwardly as we move through this energy this week and specifically tomorrow. So now let's talk about the specifics of the Sabian symbols for a minute, because yes, they are definitely telling a story today, and it does seem to have a lot to do with not only recognizing these core truths that the aspects are also pushing towards today, but also demonstrating them and not being afraid to show our true colors actually is kind of coming through symbolically. So let's talk about the Sabians. Number one, the position of the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon today. The Earth is always in a polar opposition to the Sun, so it is conjunct the Moon today for our full moon. 28 degrees. Remember, we always round up a degree when we're looking at the Sabian symbols because energy moves in waves, and it's like by the time that degree is being discharged, we're actually already energetically picking up on the incoming energetic, so we read the incoming energetic instead of the energetic that is waning out. And so 28 degrees Capricorn, a large aviary, the air element, you guys. We are transcending. We are growing wings. We are being liberated to take off and take flight through the air. This is also to me representing information, like news, messaging that may be coming to us, a lot of communication as well during this period of time, this next 2 weeks, really communicating, seeing things from a higher perspective, a bird's eye view, definitely a very mental energy that we're working through right now, but ultimately about, you know, the birds, the air element, being able to elevate, soar, fly, and transcend our current circumstances on the ground. This to me is also sort of emblematic of the age of Aquarius energy that we're moving into, as it is clearly a very strong reference to the air element, which will be the dominant element over this next 2,000 years. So definitely a reference to the air element, a lot of communication going back and forth over this next couple of weeks. The position of the Earth today and also the moon itself for our full moon. An Indian girl introduces her college boyfriend to the assembled tribe. To me, this is talking about showing off the ways that we've changed and what we love right now. You know, we're starting to evolve, we're starting to grow, and we're aligning with what is true and authentic to us, and maybe not necessarily what was true and authentic to our family or these organizations or people from the past or groups that we're a part of. And, you know, we are feeling comfortable to introduce our new selves, our new experience, our new love to these foundational energy perhaps of the past that may or may not accept it, but we are feeling comfortable enough with the changes that have gone on within us to show how we're feeling, what we're feeling, who we're feeling at this point in time, regardless of, you know, it being accepted or not, essentially. So that's a pretty powerful degree for the degree of the moon and the earth today, in consideration of, you know, all that has gone on and what we're moving towards at this point in time. We have Mercury today, the same degree as yesterday, 10 degrees of Aquarius, now retrograde. This Sabian symbol is a man who had for a time become the embodiment of an ideal, is made to realize that as a person, he is not that ideal. And again, this is about us getting to the root of what we truly idealize and who we really want to become, and whether or not the ideals that we've had for ourselves in the past are truly in alignment with our integrity and with our morals and with the vision that we have for ourselves and how we want to behave and operate and conduct ourselves. This is sort of a mental evaluation in terms of our aspirations and what we're aspiring towards, which also makes sense in the context of Mercury going retrograde right now in Capricorn, or moving from Aquarius into Capricorn, which again is all about authenticity and what we really want to build to bring us some type of success, Capricorn, moving into the future. So this degree as well, we are definitely going through a mental reevaluation of the things that we idealize right now and how we are conducting ourselves in correspondence and correlation to that, and what adjustments need to be made in the ideals that we hold in alignment with this new core that we're discovering, and our own integrity and our own authenticity. We have Venus today, 14 degrees of Capricorn. An ancient bas relief carved in granite remains a witness to a long forgotten culture. Again, this degree to me is talking about who are we really? What about ourselves and our true identity have we lost throughout the course of our lives that we are coming back into contact with at this point in time, that we're rediscovering, that we're re-remembering, that is standing out to us as what always was, but maybe had been long forgotten or lost. And Venus is retrograde in Capricorn right now too, which is helping us to re-recognize the value that we hold inside of us, our own relationship to our own self-worth, our own self-love, our own inner value, and the impact that that has on where we give our power away and where we accept less than what we deserve out of any type of feeling of lack that we may be holding inside of us. Also being highlighted by this degree, Venus is telling us to look to the core of things. Look to, what does it say? The ancient bas relief carved in granite remains a witness to a long forgotten culture. What is, the foundation that we came in with and who we've always been? We need to look back and get reacquainted with that as we are going through this energy that is helping us to rediscover that core and purge, purify, cleanse, and transform anything that is out of alignment with that in our lives right now, so that we can reunite with that original vision, that original mission that we came in with. We have Mars today at a flag bearer in battle, again showing our true colors, not being afraid to stand for what we represent, stand for what we believe in, even if it may bring some type of battle or conflict. At this point in time, we are aligning with our truth, and we are demonstrating the changes that have gone on at this point in time, despite any type of conflict that may arise as a result of that. We have Jupiter moving to 5 degrees of Pisces today, I believe it was, a church bazaar. Again, I'm thinking of this as like celebrating in conjunction with spirit. A church bazaar, it's not just a regular bazaar. There is a component of, religion and spirituality and faith that is being intertwined into this celebration that Jupiter is talking about right now. So there is a lot of spiritual upliftment, spiritual guidance, spiritual advice that is available to us at this point in time in a very expanded way as well. And we really need to rejoice in our faith and have faith at this point in time that no matter what is going on, it is really happening so that we can go through this rebirth process and birth the new or old, whichever way you want to look at it, the original version of ourselves, and align with that so that we can activate our destiny, activate our potential, and get to the point where we can truly receive that fulfillment and that joy and that abundance in alignment with whatever the highest octave is of that for us in this experience. We have Saturn, like I said, a train entering a tunnel. That is pretty self-explanatory, really sort of talking about being in the tunnel right now as we are speeding towards the opening that is going to be like the birth of a whole new day. This also reminds me sort of like a birth canal in a type of way, just because we have all of this Pluto rebirth energy that's going on right now, and we are energetically being cleared, cleansed, purified, and reborn at this point in time. And it's like we're on the verge of being birthed into the appropriate versions of ourselves based on these changes that have gone on. We have Uranus at 11 Taurus still, preparing to go direct, a woman sprinkling long rows of flowers. We are actually diligently caring for, nurturing, and watering the seedlings that are trying to grow inside of us to help, that are in that authentic alignment, that are, trying to help us. We're cultivating our inner resources. We are nurturing our inner soil so that we can, when we go through this rebirth process, we have, taken care of the things inside of us that we need to help us really cultivate our success moving forward. And we have Neptune changed degrees yesterday, you guys. Neptune was at 21 degrees of Pisces forever. Neptune is now at 22 degrees of Pisces, a prophet bringing down the new law from Sinai. So right in time, Neptune, the spiritual planet in his home sign of Pisces, is also talking about a new spiritual law that is being infused into our reality at this point in time, as we are going through this rebirth process, as we are, well, on the brink of, entering this new energetic paradigm based on tangibly, outwardly beginning to manifest these shifts that have gone on vibrationally, internally within us throughout the course of this year. We also have, speaking of Mount Sinai, we also have Pluto at 27 degrees of Capricorn, a mountain pilgrimage. Again, talking about this entire year, really, because this is the same degree where Pluto was at for our new moon in Aries this year before he retrograded back to the original degree where he started off our astrological lunar year, a mountain pilgrimage, talking about a need for perseverance and courage and strength and endurance. But this is about elevating, evolving, gaining a higher perspective, and accomplishing a great feat, essentially, once we get to the top. And, with Neptune at this degree, it is also likely to bring some awakening and awareness of how to interact with these new laws of reality that are emblematic of the shift of ages that we are going through right now. So that's basically, and we also have the black moon recently changed to 21 degrees of Gemini, a tumultuous labor demonstration. So again, this may take a lot of work. This may not be an easy period of time over this next couple weeks as we, delve into this darkness, clear it, transmute it, transcend it, and transform. The black moon itself is talking about, a labor demonstration, a little bit of hard work having to go into this. We also have the North and the South node right now. The North node is at 1 Gemini, preparing to change signs tomorrow, you guys. A glass bottom boat reveals undersea wonder, talking about revelations, seeing under the surface, seeing things that have been hidden, the same exact thing that the full moon is talking about in the conjunction to Pluto, and the impact that this has to really change, purify, and transform us on some really deep fundamental levels. The South node is at retired Army veterans gather to reawaken old memories. And this is also a purging, purification of the past, releasing and letting go of any type of nostalgia or things from the past that, we've been attached to, but that are hindering our ability to progress, evolve, and move forward down this new course, down this new path. So that's really what we have going on in terms of the Sabian symbols today. Again, a lot of symbolism talking about recognizing and aligning with these new truths that we've discovered and not being afraid to demonstrate them, to represent them, to embody them at this point in time, even if it does bring a degree of conflict potentially that could be happening as well. So now let's talk. So that's what we have for the symbolism and its correspondence to the aspect that we have primarily with this full moon, the conjunction to Pluto, and everything else that's going on. Now I want to spend just a couple minutes talking specifically about the aspects that we have in effect today as well, aside from this full moon energy that is going on. And we still, for the full moon today, of course, have Mercury retrograde in a square to Uranus. This has been going on the past, week, essentially. We're quite in this energy by now, but it is still persisting today and likely to carry through over the course of this full moon cycle over the next couple weeks. So disruptions, miscommunications, interference happening with plans, travel, nervous energy, things happening very fast, abrupt, unexpected changes to plans or just circumstances generally. And just like random issues coming up, just like all of a sudden that sort of like disrupt things and throw things up in the air. But this is also bringing like sudden realizations, flashes of insight, like instantaneous knowings about things, very, very strong, like electrified almost. Intuition, hunches, just like an internal knowing about something that just sort of like hits you out of nowhere, very strong under this Mercury-Uranus energy as well. And with this full moon happening, first of all, in Cancer and opposite Pluto, this is also like very, very psychic energy that we have going on. So, definitely tune in and pay attention to any type of intuitive hunches, intuitive urges, like spiritual guidance that you feel coming in as well could be very profound, powerful, impactful at this point in time. A lot of spiritual guidance, a lot of very strong psychic energy for the purpose of regeneration and healing as well we have going on with this energy. And another thing that we have going on with the energy today, we have Mars only 1 degree off of exact conjunction with the Galactic Center. And that is a really powerful dynamic to have going on as well. The Galactic Center, this is like the God source code energy, like all the galactic wisdom, the creative energy, like the galactic creative wisdom emanates from the Galactic Center. And we have a planet conjuncting the Galactic Center. It can really just bring a flood of like divine energy into the planet, especially when we're talking about Mars. And, you know, with Mars only 1 degree off the Galactic Center, this does bring this divine inspiration that is happening alongside of this full moon conjunct Pluto, galactic wisdom, divine inspiration, motivating and driving our actions at this point in time. And when we couple that with all of this psychic energy that we have going on, you know, tuning in and following spiritual guidance, spiritual inspiration at this point in time, it can be very supportive and very helpful to us as we navigate through this energy. But honestly, like just the simple fact that Pluto is within that 1 degree conjunction and opposition to the full moon, and at the same degree that he was when we began this astrological lunar year. And also, the United States is also on the verge of a Pluto return, which is going to be happening this year as well. And it's just representing these like big, fundamental, incoming, really potent, powerful purges, transformations, purifications that are underway in regards to a lot of the like established structures, established power dynamics that we have become used to navigating in the context of our lives. Purge, purification, release, and transformation of power structures, power and control dynamics, authority, and our relationship to our own sense of power and authority in our own lives is underway. We are clearing the decks right now energetically, releasing a whole bunch of toxicity that may have been accumulating for a while, you know, individually and collectively. And also, as a result of the other aspects we have going on, surprising breakthroughs, mental shifts, awakenings, and divine inspiration definitely available to us. The spiritual warrior archetype is driving the actions that we are taking now with Mars in the conjunction to the Galactic Center for this, as we like speed through, fly through, burst through this tunnel, about to explode out the other side into the light, expressing and experiencing our new selves and our new realities in alignment with the authentic core truths that we are discovering and, you know, like synthesizing with at this point in time. So that is what I have for my report for the full moon energetics that we have going on today and that are going to be playing out over the next couple of weeks. Very profound, very transformative period of time we're in right now. But again, this is pushing us to transmute and to clear our own darkness so that we can raise our vibration, raise our frequencies, and align with the plan that God and universe has set out for us, so that we can actually go through this process of co-creating with God and universe, coming into self-mastery, and receiving this ultimate fulfillment as a result. So that is what I have for my full moon report today, you guys. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I love your feedback. I have a Facebook group and a Facebook page if any of you are interested in that. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We have a very dynamic day of astrology that's going to be going on. Again, the Uranus going direct, the nodes changing signs. We are shooting forward tomorrow, or we are in the process of starting this forward motion really quickly into a new direction that is aligned with these authentic truths. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Happy full moon, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, you guys.